Beyond Synth 365.
Beyond Synth Radio. That's what this is.
It's the top of the hour, which means it's time for Marko and Andy to spin the best in new synthwave. It's the Marko and Andy Power Hour.
It's the Marko and Andy Power Hour. With Andy A.L.I.S.O.N.
Well, you know I love Goldeneye.
And Marko Marek.
I'm from fucking Australia. All right, we're going.
Okay, Picasso.
Okay, man, do the intro.
I knew it. I'm not prepared at all.
Well, it's only been like 2 months since we recorded.
It's been 2 months, yes. Okay, it's a long time in the synth world, okay? Hey, everybody. Welcome to Marko and Andy's Power Hour.
Yes, that is correct. So, I guess listeners of the show might be wondering, wait, how are we recording? Isn't Andy's internet broken? Should we have like a drum roll?
Yeah, okay.
Andy's internet
has been fixed.
That's right.
So that was 1 month.
You went 1 month with no internet?
Yeah.
Was that a fuck? That was probably the worst month of your life.
You know what? It was frustrating because I wasn't able to record the show, obviously, because in reality, like, you and I have not recorded together in 2 months because the last time we recorded was the roundtable episode. So that's the weird thing, because I felt a little disconnected from people. Mm-hmm. And I actually said this at the end of last week's show. I might as well say this now to you, that, you know, a lot of times we'll be done recording and then you'll be like, I don't know why you have me on, mate, or whatever, you know, like when we talk behind the scenes. I need to tell you now that a large driving force of this really is me chatting with my friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that actually really does give me the energy to produce the show.
Okay.
When I wasn't able to record episodes with you.
You missed me?
Well, I don't have the energy to make the show because part of me goes, well, I could just do solo shows.
Right.
You know, while my internet's broken, I can still record by myself and go down to Tim Hortons and, you know, release episodes where it's just me talking. Mm-hmm. And dude, I had just no energy to do it.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the energy really does come from chatting with other people. That's kind of where I get my energy from.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you guys are all actually like really important parts of this, because when they're not there, like I actually can't really make the show. Like I just have no drive to.
Yeah, well, it's hard. You got nobody to bounce off or, you know, to feedback or anything like that. Especially, it feels like you're talking to yourself, you know. I mean, a little.
And you are. And like the older format of the show, I did, you know, do the first half hour of just me. But since it was building towards an interview with a guest, that was still okay. It was like, oh, you know, I want to play a few songs before I get to the guest. But lately, I don't know, it's weird. So I just don't feel like doing that.
Well, the main thing is you got your internet back, though.
Yes, and it's such a stupid story, but I want to listen to a song first. And then also, we watched a movie. I made you watch the sequel to Hard Ticket to Hawaii. And so we watched that. Picasso Trigger is what it's called. And it was definitely disappointing.
I definitely will not be watching the sequel after that. Let's put it that way. I think I'm done with that series.
Now, I've done a little theme to my songs this week, my picks. I didn't tell you in advance that I was doing that. So
Great.
You just picked a bunch of songs that you thought were cool.
Great.
And I've picked a bunch of songs that all deal with fire, because right now my country is on fire and you guys are getting all the smoke.
You smoked me out, you bastard.
Yeah.
It's actually really been messing with a lot of people's health. My lungs are really bad one night. It's nasty. I've never really experienced anything like that. I mean, in Australia we get a lot of bushfires and you know, you will get smoke blow through, but it only lasts for like a day or two, and then usually like it's quite windy, so the wind will blow it away, and it's never that thick. I mean, this was like some thick ass smoke. Damn.
Yeah, man, I've been congested, and it's been so weird, and I didn't even put it together that it was the smoke. Hey, look, we'll talk about this, but we're gonna listen to some music first.
What do you mean you didn't put it together? You didn't smell it?
Well, no, I smelled it, but like I thought I had a cold. Look, we're gonna listen to some music. We'll keep talking. All right, I want to listen to this one. This is one of my faves from Droid Bishop. This is Through the Fire.
Nice pick, yeah.
right, and that was Through the Fire by Droid Bishop. We're recording this show through the fire right now.
Yeah.
Because Canada is on fire.
You guys still on fire?
Yeah, because there was like hundreds of wildfires. I don't even know how they count them. You know, it would just be on the radio, just like, and now there's 300 wildfires, and I know they're sending in people from other countries, but it's like, I don't know, what can you do? Like, I know when people want to complain, and I get it, just like, oh, the fucking government sucks, but it's like, what do you do when there's 300 wildfires? Like, I mean,
were they accidental? I mean, I presume they were. That's just a lot of fires, man. You know, how does that happen?
Well, part of it, I don't want to upset my audience, but part of it is climate change.
Uh-oh.
Because we're experiencing like a dry period.
Yeah, so have we.
And so we're going to have more of those extremes moving forward, right? So if you just get like fucking 3 weeks of no rain in the summertime and peak fucking forest fire and the joke is, not a joke, but we're not even in forest fire season yet.
I know. That's what's crazy.
That's supposed to be in like a month from now or like 2 months from now. So, and I mean peak wildfire season. That's like July, August. And like, to be clear, just so you goofs don't write me letters, I don't mean climate change started the fire. I believe most fires are caused by like people or lightning, but mostly people. But the thing is, like with the warming temperatures, you just have like a drier forest. And once a fire starts, it's easier to spread. And it spreads faster and it's harder to contain. So you've got, you know, like extreme weather, like we've had no rain for 3 weeks and we had a mild winter, so there was less snowfall. And so when we have a normal amount of snow, that melts and then keeps the forest floor more wet, I guess. I don't know what the term is. I mean, that's what happened, you know, a few years ago when like San Francisco area, when there was like that orange,
I was going to say,
the old orange sky.
Everybody in California is like, oh, you're new to the game? Like, yeah. This is normal for us.
But yeah, so, I didn't even see, because our air was like not as bad as the pictures I've seen from like New York.
Right.
But it was hazy. Like, you know, if you looked in the distance, it looked like fog and you could smell burning. And I was getting a cold.
Yeah.
I didn't even put it together. So I'm just complaining to my wife and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do I have a cold? It's the summertime. Like, I'm congested and I have to keep like blowing my nose and my throat was sore.
No, me too. I had a sore throat. My nose was all congested and my lungs, I was coughing and shit. It was pretty bad. Like, normally I didn't think it would affect me that much, but after a couple of days it really did. So thankfully it's pretty much gone now, I think. So maybe the wind's blowing the other way or something. Hopefully it doesn't change again. Jesus, I don't think I can handle much more.
No, it's fucked. I'm gonna like look into this because I don't even really know how they fight these fires exactly.
With water, Andy. No, usually with water.
It's nice to talk to you again, Marko.
You love my humor. Well, you were saying there's all firefighters from around the world. You actually took 400 firefighters from New York State as well. So thankfully, we haven't had too many fires here ourselves.
Yeah, it's wacky. I mean, like, because I know they have those planes that fly over and drop water, but imagine flying one of those.
Yeah.
Like, you're going into the heart of, like, a fire where there's all that smoke. Like, you wouldn't be able to see what you were doing. Like, it seems like it would be very, very...
Difficult,
yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's hot. Some people I know, they have got a cottage up in sort of more northern Ontario, and I guess maybe their cottage is gone now.
Yeah.
But because of the weather up there, not only was there a ton of fires, but the firefighters had to contend with just the bugs.
Really?
Because it's like, you know, like an area by like a lake and shit.
Oh, geez.
And so like they're just getting fucking attacked by bugs, like trying to fight the fire and having to fight off like, you know, mosquitoes and like all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm thankful every day that my worst problem was that I didn't have internet for a month and I wasn't fighting a wildfire.
That's a fucking serious problem, okay? I would probably go nuts for one whole month. That's pretty bad.
Well, play me a song and then I'll tell you the dumb story of my life.
Okay. Yeah, looking forward to it. All right, so there's a new one out from Synth Group TV Players. It's more than one person, isn't it, I think?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, we'll say it's more than one person. And they got a new track that's come out. It's really good. It's called Signs.
right, and that was Signs by TV Players. And we're back with the Marko and Andy Power Hour. We're talking about wildfires. We're talking about the internet. So my internet was out for a month.
Right.
You know, we're 3 weeks in, and my company, the fiber company, would not tell me when they were going to fix it.
No, that's fine.
And that was the most frustrating thing. They wouldn't even give me an ETA. And I was like, I don't think they're going to fix it. Like, that's how I truly felt.
Yep.
So then I'm like, well, fuck this. I'm going to start calling around other companies and just get internet from someplace else in the meantime, knowing full well I have to go back to the fiber because it's so fast.
Right.
It's so much better than the other ones. So I signed up to the DSL company that my dad used to be with, like the phone line internet. I ordered Starlink, and it was like, just, well, whenever these things whoever gets here first, you know what I mean? Like, just as long as we have some internet in the house. Because I'd been going to Tim Hortons every day in the morning to like read emails and shit. So last Friday, the Starlink arrives, and so the rest of my day is setting up that, and I put it on the roof and ran a cable just through the window and shit.
Right.
Starlink actually works, and it works pretty well if you got a good, nice, clear shot of the sky. And so at that point, the Starlink was actually good enough for everything we needed.
Okay.
Like, I didn't notice any slowdown. I started like recording some stuff, and I'm like, okay, like this works fine. So then 3 days later, the DSL guy comes.
Just turns up
to do the phone line modem thing.
Right.
Not to get into it, but you know, there's like the competition clause shit in this country. So like, you know, Bell, the phone company Bell, they own all the lines because they put them in like, you know, years ago.
Right.
But there's a monopoly clause thing that like, if you're a small company, you can actually supply internet and phone services, but you sort of have to use Bell's lines.
Yeah, we have the same thing in Australia as well. It's the exact same thing, yeah.
So even though you get internet from a different company, a fucking technician from Bell has to come to the house and activate the thing.
What?
It has to be a Bell technician. Anyway.
Wow.
So it took them 2 weeks because, I mean, on the last episode of the show, I literally got called from the company because when I ordered the DSL internet, the lady never put the order in. And she calls me 4 days later and goes like, oh, I forgot to order it. I'm like, awesome.
Oh, God.
So he shows up. This is now literally like 12 days after I ordered it, okay? And then he sets up the fucking modem, and then in the afternoon, the fiber guys come and fix the line. So now I've gone from no internet to having 3 internet providers simultaneously, and now I have to awkwardly like cancel stuff I just signed up for.
Well, I hope you didn't pay any installation fees. That's all I could say, because I don't think they're going to refund that. That's all.
No, I mean, okay, so Starlink, you don't have contracts, so I'm going to keep it the dish, because you buy the dish.
Yeah.
And so that's just going to be like, hey man, if we ever need backup, like we've got it if we need to, because it's $150 a month. So like that would be a very expensive backup.
Yeah.
My life is hilarious. Like it literally happened the same day. Like you couldn't ask for a more stupid, because I honestly, with the service I was getting from the fiber company, I was like, for sure they're not fixing this thing like until this fall.
Yeah.
Clearly we're not a priority.
That's crazy.
And then they did fix it after a month, and then I'm talking to the workers. I'm just like, yeah, it's been out for a month. They're like, what? Well, that's too long. I'm like, I know.
No shit.
Like,
it's too long, Andy. So what did they say the problem was in the end, you know?
In the end, there was a kink in the cable.
Kink in the cable. Christ.
Fiber cable is incredibly delicate.
So some fucking idiot put a kink in the cable. That's great.
Yeah, basically, you know, the company that installed all the lines, they're like a construction company. They're not necessarily like fiber guys.
Oh, God.
And so it's quite possible that they just, you know, they were just shoving all the lines in. And of course, mine was one of the ones that like bumped against the side as it was being pushed through and then fucking, you know, got kinked or whatever. So anyways, the point is the internet's on now, so the listeners can relax.
Cool.
And talk about Picasso Trigger after you fucking play me a song.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's good. I kind of missed you, Andy. It's nice chatting with you again. I feel like there's a lot's happened, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't have the internet. That's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. So there's a new track out by artist called Voltage. He's been around a while, makes really good music, very high production value on his stuff. He hails from Leipzig, Germany, and his new one, which is super addictive, is called STARFLIGHT.
And that was Starflight by Voltage. And we're back. Marko and Andy Power Hour. So we're all caught up, I think.
I think so.
If the audience has any confusion, they know what's going on now. The internet's back. There's fire. And you and I watched Picasso Trigger, which is the sequel to Hard Ticket to Hawaii. There's actually like 5 sequels.
Far out.
Basically, they're just sequels because the characters of Donna and Taryn are in... Oh, no. Donna and Taryn are only in the trilogy.
No.
I think Taryn eventually isn't part of it anymore, like the other blonde girl. And then Donna goes on to a few other movies where she's still playing the character of Donna.
Oh, I see.
You know,
Jesus.
that important character.
Yeah, it's all the same director, I believe.
Yes, yeah, that's Sedaris.
Yep.
I don't know why I did this, but I'm just looking over this. I took so many notes while I was watching this, and this movie
You must have
sucks.
really enjoyed it.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like this is not worth the amount of notes I took. You should see the screen. It's like literally like 5 pages of notes.
Dude, this movie was so bad. I was watching it in the living room, and my wife kept walking in, and then my mother-in-law, my father-in-law walked through, always on the nude scenes.
Yep.
I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It was getting embarrassing, man. It's not a porno, okay? It's actually an action movie.
Well, I will say there is a lot of nudity in this one, but the scenes were shorter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed. It was like a chick would take her top off, you'd see her tits, and then the scene would sort of end right after that.
Right.
So it was still sort of like, we got the nudity, but then the scene would cut. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know why when you watch embarrassing movies with nudity, there's like this weird magnetic energy to the room where like everyone just needs to talk to you at that moment.
It's fucking annoying.
And like even as I was finishing the movie today, like my wife and kid just come in because they were going to go for a bike ride, and I thought they were gone already, and so I press play and I'm watching, and then right as a stupid sex scene happens, they just come in like, okay, we're leaving now. I'm like, fuck me. Like it's like I have to like hide away in my office to watch this movie like a fucking perv. It's like it's supposed to be an action movie, and like I feel like a fucking
I
creep.
tell everybody Andy picked it. You fucking tell him he's the pervert.
Well,
I'm just doing research, okay, for the show.
Well, I was hoping the first movie is still stupid, but it does have these big, awesome moments. You know, like the bazooka with that dude in the air and the blow up doll and that shit. So I was kind of hoping that this movie would have some of that, and there is some stuff that blow ups, and there was some laughs, but I don't know. It just lacked some of the.
It lacked the charm, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it how they just basically fucking. So they replaced Ron Moss' character, Rowdy or whatever, with some other guy, and continued the thing where he can't shoot anything.
Yeah.
Although in this one, it's really annoying because he literally does nothing until the very end. He's hopeless. How is he an agent?
There's a part in the movie where I was like, is he meant to be playing the same character because he has the exact same character traits as fucking Ron Moss?
Right.
But he's not. He is a different character. He's called Travis, and there's something fucking hilarious that I didn't notice until the end of the movie.
What's that?
Well, I kept on looking at him. I'm like, what a weird looking guy. Like, there's something about him that it reminded me of something. So just for everyone knows, like, Ron Moss was he's the soap opera guy who was in the first movie who went on to fucking Bold and the Beautiful or whatever. And then so there's a new guy who I guess is like the lead male in this movie. It's hard to tell because there's like 14 lead characters and like 20 villains. And so it's like at some point I'm writing down their names like, who the fuck are these people? You know, he looks like what Troy McClure would look like in real life.
Oh my God.
Dude, there's a shot at the end, you know, where he's making out with Donna on the beach. Mm-hmm. And they're just sitting on the beach and he's got like these wrinkles under his eyes when he's like smiling, and he's got this sort of stilted mouth. And there's this one freeze frame where I'm like, he looks fucking like Troy McClure from The Simpsons.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such educational films as 2 - 3 = -fun and Firecrackers, the Silent Killer.
Listen, let's listen to a song and then we'll fucking, I keep on saying, and then we'll get into it. I got an awesome one here from the Astral Stereo Project. Neil's a cool guy. Actually, he just sent me a pre-release of his upcoming album, and it's actually really good, so I'm excited. But this is from one of his older albums, Bastard Squad. This is Wheels on Fire.
the sky, wheels on fire. As the highway meets the sky, wheels on fire. As the highway meets the sky, wheels on fire. As the highway meets the sky, wheels on fire.
And that was Wheels on Fire by the Astral Stereo Project from the album Bastard Squad. I'm here with Marko. We're talking about Picasso Trigger, the sequel to Hard Ticket to Hawaii. So the movie starts, and I think they're kind of going for like a James Bond opening with this one.
Yes, but the lead character's name is Steve Bond as well.
Yeah,
Literally, that's his name. It's like, fucking what the hell?
I almost thought that too. I'm like, did they just cast this guy because his name is Steve Bond so that his title could be at the start? Because it's playing this super dramatic music, and it's got the words Picasso Trigger, and then there's like gunshot sounds, and then like red lines appear over the word Trigger. There's one name in the credits. I don't know who this guy was playing or if he was a producer or something, but the guy's name was like Geich Kook. Do you see this name? It was Guichkook. How the fuck do you say that? Fucking Geich, like fucking Geich Kook. And then they introduced Roberto Vasquez as Panthera because this movie is completely filled with just Playboy models.
Didn't have enough already, right?
Yeah. At first, when the movie starts, I'm like, oh, so is the Picasso Trigger, like, is it going to be like a secret weapon?
That's what I thought, yeah.
And it just turns out it's just like the code name of some guy.
It's amazing how just a few $1 million allows him to ignore that the Picasso Trigger is actually your code name.
Well, what made me laugh was Miguel Ortiz, like one of the bad guys, is played by the guy who played Seth in the last movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Who is afraid of snakes. And he like literally acts exactly the same. His whole plot is he's getting revenge on this agency for killing his brother, but he's not playing the brother of Seth.
So strange.
He's just playing a different character, and it's just seemed like a weird missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But of course, like this movie gets so complicated because there's 20 bad guys and then there's 20 good guys. Just like the first movie, it's sort of unclear. It's like, who's meant to be the lead of this thing? Because if it's Donna and Taryn, like the two blonde ladies who work for Molokai Cargo or whatever, they don't come into the movie for a long time.
Who do you think would want us dead? Could be any number of people. You don't think they cracked my cover, do you? No, impossible. The federal government wouldn't allow that to happen to you. I sure hope you're right.
Everything in this movie is way more complicated than anything needs to be. So like every time someone wants to assassinate somebody, there's like 10 steps to the plan where they could just so easily just kill them. And at the very start of the movie, Ortiz sends a VHS tape of himself to the other bad guy's house to like explain the plan. Just another overcomplication where it's like they don't have a phone call or anything like that. So it's just this shot of like this car parking in front of a mansion, then a guy slowly getting out, handing another guy a package, then the butler takes the package, brings it inside, walks inside, then hands the package to the fucking one bad guy, then he says open the package, then inside the package is a tape that they then puts the tape in the machine, and then it's just fucking Ortiz just telling that guy the plan, and it's like, why did I just watch 5 minutes of like people parking and getting out of cars and getting into rooms and handing people packages just to have a guy explain a plot? Like, it was so stupid.
I love it how they page each other too. Like during all this, they paging each other, all the bad guys, after they assassinate each other with these stupid one-liners. Like, they're not even funny. They're just so bad, you got to shake your head, Well,
that's another thing I didn't quite understand. Yeah, because like there was this motif at the start of the film where the bad guys were taking out like secret agents, and every time they did, they would say like a rhyme about it.
Yeah.
Because there's like that homing device and the flowers that they give to the blonde dude and that other agent guy. The bad guy kills him, and it's just like the men with the flowers are dead this hour or something.
The ones with the flower have been scattered this hour. Let's go.
The ones with the flower have been scattered this hour. Glenn and Peter have scored.
And what was the other one?
Give them a lay and blow them away.
Yeah. I was like, why is this going to be like a running theme, and then they just don't do it again? I'm like, what is this? Like, I just don't even know what it is.
Give them a lay blow them away.
Hell of a poet, Clay.
I know.
There was this one line that made me laugh, was like at the very start of the thing, when the guy's finally like explaining the plan of like the bad guy's plan, and then it's like, we take the first steps towards complete revenge. It's just such a dumb move.
That's pretty bad.
With your leadership, your support, we have taken the first step towards complete revenge.
Anyway, look, we got to keep talking about it, but you got to play me some music.
All right. Well, there's a new one out from A.L.I.S.O.N and Emil Rottmayer. There's some really cool stuff going on in the chill synth scene at the moment. I feel like there's a lot of collaborations. A lot of the talented artists are working together, and it's really good to see. Yeah, well, which is great, you know, and this one's no exception. So this is A.L.I.S.O.N and Emil Rottmayer with a new track, S.Y.S.T.E.M.
All right, and that was S.Y.S.T.E.M by A.L.I.S.O.N and Emil Rottmayer. So this must make you very happy, because these are all these artists that you always like playing in the chill synth stuff, and then seeing them team up
Yeah, it's really cool. I think last time we were on the show, they had a 3-way collaboration, and it's just happening all over the place. I think A.L.I.S.O.N just has a new one out with, oh Jesus, I'm going to fuck it up. I can't remember if it's Hotel Pools or something like that. I got a email from Bandcamp for it, so it's really good. Yeah, and you know how much I love my chill synth, so yeah, it's really good stuff.
I think I actually picked up that song, and I think it was in an upcoming playlist, and I was thinking like Marko's going to choose this one at some point, the A.L.I.S.O.N Hotel Pools one. Anyway, back to this stupid fucking movie.
Yeah, what do you say?
This movie is made up of so many boring and unnecessary shots. I think that was one of the things where like every scene starts like a minute too soon. Every time they go somewhere, there's like unnecessary driving shots, and then you see them park, and you see them get out of the car, and then walk into the building, and like cut to the inside of the building where they're walking in now, and then it's just like it's so
terrible editing.
Yes,
terrible.
This movie could have been probably like half an hour shorter, and like literally would be the exact same film. Like if you just cut out all these stupid every scene starting with unnecessary nonsense.
Yeah, big time.
Give them a lay, blow them away.
Next stop on this tour, Maui. 7 miles across the bay.
We'll put a stop to that squealing bitch who testified against my brother.
Well, there's definitely the Bond angle, I believe, in this one. They try to push it a little bit more because there's a lot more international scenes as well. Like they're in Vegas, and then I think there's a shot in Paris. There's LA, so they kind of trying to add a little bit of that, but it's just so cheaply done that it really doesn't have any of that charm whatsoever.
No.
I also love how, you know, then they try to have the professor guy who's just a guy with the, what is he wearing? Like, it's just ridiculous. He's on the beach and his shirt's open.
Did they call him the professor in the first movie? I thought he was just the guy who ran Molokai Cargo.
Yeah, I don't think he was the professor. They kind of glamorized his role a little bit more, I believe.
I built this car for Terra. Instructions are inside.
Looks harmless enough.
How right, but also wrong. When you attach the explosives, this car takes on a whole new meaning.
This is very nice of you, Professor.
Well, I know how women like to receive presents.
Yeah, because he's just that old guy who
yeah,
like, you know, he had one of the best lines in the last movie because he's the one who has to call them and tell them about the fucking snake.
Yeah, that's right. That's what this one was missing, like something cool like that, just so random. A fucking snake infected by a virus from poisonous rats or some fucking shit like that.
We had a snake delivered here for the Department of Health. Now, that snake has been infected by deadly toxins from cancer-infested rats. It's a very dangerous snake. It'll kill anybody it comes in contact with.
The fucking snake is awesome. And before I forget, if you're listening to this on the podcast feed, you have a few days until Future Sounds Miami 89 in London. So if you're in the London area on June 17th, there's an event I did a silly ad for on Instagram, but it's a live show with DJ sets, and Morgan Willis and Future Cop and Iverson and New Arcades are performing. And if you're watching the YouTube version of this episode, then the event is over. But if you're listening to this episode when it drops, you should have at least a day or two to grab tickets and head out to Miami 89 in London on June 17th. So go to future-sounds.uk. And you know what? Let's listen to a song and then we'll keep chatting. But don't forget about future-sounds.uk if you're in the London area and want to see a show. So look, this is another one of my favorite Fire songs. This is Quest for Fire by Pilot Priest. And that was Pilot Priest with Quest for Fire. And I'm back with Marko. We're talking about this shit film, Picasso Trigger. And I should probably explain the plot of this thing so listeners aren't confused. So at the start, there's this painting that's called the Picasso Trigger, but then the rich guy donating it turns out to be the Picasso Trigger, which is like his code name, because he's like a bad guy. And then we cut to Travis, who's like the new lead male guy, the fucking the Troy McClure guy, and he's just sitting on a boat wearing like a green banana hammock, and he's got this cool little satellite phone.
See? He has got the same boat as the lead in the first one. It's the same boat.
Because I was expecting, okay, fine, that guy went on to do Bold and the Beautiful, so he wasn't going to come back for the sequel. But it's interesting that they didn't have any lines of dialogue, because I thought there'd be like something to just go like, where's so-and-so? Oh, he's away on a mission. But I don't think they did.
Yeah, which is really weird. Yeah, he's just taken over his boat. I don't know if he's supposed to be his brother. I mean, his name's completely different.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck. They don't explain anything, really. That is odd, for sure.
So we cut to the casino, like you mentioned, like there's these casino scenes in Vegas where like these two Playboy ladies do like these country western style sexy dances or something.
Oh, it's so bad.
They're secret agents too. One of them's called Patty Cakes. I don't remember the other one.
Patty Cakes, that's right.
So every single woman in this movie is a secret agent.
So hot.
Because I never realized Edie's a secret agent too.
Right.
Who runs that restaurant. And then like, anyway, so they're there and they're doing like these stupid dances. And then there's the henchman, I think his name was Glenn. And they see that there's these two other dudes, this blonde dude and this old guy, who are also secret agents, like good guys, but then the bad guys know that they're secret agents. So then Glenn hides a homing device in some flowers that he gives to some lady and says, give these flowers to those two agent guys. Then the agent guys actually wear the flowers on their coat.
Yeah.
So that then Glenn can follow them into the desert with a helicopter and shoot them with a bazooka while they're driving.
So elaborate. Yeah. And you could have just shot him right fucking there.
I know. It's like, and why they needed a homing device to just follow them drive in the desert, because I'm like, oh, they're going to go back to their base. But it was literally just to follow them as they just drove into the desert for no reason. And then like that scene did make me laugh because the blonde dude just like narrated the whole encounter with like the dubbed in dialogue, like as they're getting chased by the helicopter. It's just like, where's my gun? That chopper's got a bazooka. They're gonna shoot us, just stuff like that. Like, it did make me laugh. There's a lot of exploding vehicles in this movie, which is all right.
Yeah, there is.
What the hell's that? What? Damn! That chopper's got a bazooka. What? Well, get off the road or something. Damn it! Damn! Gonna hit us! All right. Where's my gun? What's wrong?
Yeah, and the gadgets are terrible. I mean, it's literally just a range of things with dynamite on it. That's literally it. There's like there's really nothing advanced or technical about it. You've got like a spear with dynamite.
Yeah.
Then you got a remote control car with dynamite. Like, wow, that's real unique. And then the best one, when I saw it, I was just shaking my head, was a boomerang with dynamite. Yeah. My first thought was, I hope it doesn't work properly because it's going to come straight back to you and blow you up. Yeah, that was a weird one. I mean, you could literally just throw the dynamite.
Yes.
Why do you need the boomerang? I don't understand. They're that close. They could have just thrown dynamite or a grenade, And then the best device, this was high-tech, was the crutch that had the electronic control on it. You remember that thing?
Well, that one I didn't even... We'll save that for later, because that one is so stupid. But whatever. We got to listen to another song. So I'd like to listen to this one, a classic from the album Turbulence by Miami Nights. This is Streets on Fire. And that was Streets on Fire by Miami Nights 1984 from the album Turbulence. And we're back. Marko and I are talking about Picasso Trigger. And I was looking at the cast because I was like, this time I want to make sure I say characters' names because it might get confusing. On IMDb, it's tough because like half the actors don't have pictures associated with them because they're not actors.
True.
So it's hard to tell, like, who is this guy? Who the fuck was Hondo? But there was, we go back to Edie's restaurant from the first movie, but there's only one scene there, and then she just gets the job and then leaves. And that's when we see Mr. Ortiz or whatever, like the bad guy, the Seth guy. And then we meet two other bad guys, these two bros who are outside Edie's restaurant, who just assassinate this one couple for no reason.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Andy from the future. I was listening back while editing the show and I was wrong. It turns out there was a reason they shot that couple, because they were also secret agents. Fuck this movie.
For our side. Give him a lay.
There's this blonde dude called Hondo, and then there's this guy with dark hair, and that guy with dark hair is the guy who played Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
You must go. There will be others.
I killed you in a tournament.
You killed my older brother.
The dude looks horribly miscast as Sub-Zero. He's got like the stripe down his face because it's like the MK3 version.
Oh, yeah.
And he's only in one scene and then he leaves and he never shows up in the movie again. Anyway, it was him. So that was nice. So then we finally see Donna and Taryn, the main girls from the first movie, at the 17-minute mark into this film, and that's their first scene. And then 20 seconds into their first scene, they're taking their clothes off.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, there they are. And then Donna's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. And then it just start taking a shower. And then the porn music starts. So Hondo and fucking Sub-Zero, they've got a remote control plane with dynamite on it, which they then fly into the boat that Donna and Taryn are in. But of course, Donna and Taryn aren't there at the time. So they're flying a remote control plane with a bomb to blow up the boat that they know that those girls are in, which means they know where they live.
Yeah, I know.
So, like, they could kill them any which way. And then fucking Ortiz is also watching this happen, but from a different location. So he's on just, like, another hill somewhere. And then he has to phone them to tell them to detonate the bomb.
Yes, Mr. Ortiz, I read you loud and clear, sir.
Do it. It'll be sweet revenge for me.
Like, if you want these women dead, like, just shoot them. Like, I don't understand why Mr. Ortiz has to give the okay to detonate the bomb from a different location. Like, it's just so stupid. But they're all watching the boat. It's so fucking dumb.
And then they didn't even kill him anyway. It was so elaborate. In the end, they weren't even in the fucking boat. It was like, oh my God.
That is adorable. But why is it circling our boat? I don't know. It's getting awfully close. It's gonna hit it.
And then, of course, I love that Donna and Taryn, they realize they're being hunted, but then there's no drama to it. They just turn around like, oh, their boat blew up. Huh. Then they just go hitchhiking and get a ride on a Jeep with some guy, and then it plays like this awesome music like while they're riding in the Jeep.
Hey, can we have a lift?
Where you are in is heading?
To the sugarcane train.
Hop in, let's go.
Okay.
And then they hop aboard the sugarcane train. It feels like they were just like filming at like tourist locations.
I know, and it's so weird. Like straight after, as if you would do that. You're just acting like nothing happened.
I love it too because they're wearing these bright fluorescent bikinis, so they completely stand out. And it's like they're just driving on the sugarcane train. I wonder who's trying to kill us, huh? And like just a horrible acting.
Yeah.
Who do you think would want us dead? Could be any number of people.
And then they're flirting with some fucking random surf dudes. I wonder if that's a snorkel in his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And then he pulls out a snorkel out of his... Oh, well, it is. They're so blasé about it all.
Yeah, I love it.
So what do you think? That blonde's looking over here. I think he likes me. Well, he's not bad looking. I might just make my move. Is that a snorkel in his pocket, or is he just happy to see me? It's a snorkel, Taryn.
I'm having a bad day.
I love how like horny the women are in these movies.
Yeah, it's great.
Because like every scene is always them just like looking at some dude and then just making some like sex comment or whatever. Like it's so funny. That is something I do love about Donna's character. She's very like sexually assertive. Like in the first movie, just where she just drops the towel in front of fucking Ron Moss, just like, oh, try this, and just fucking. And then this movie, she does the same thing with the other guy.
Yeah,
because she doesn't like Panthera.
Yeah,
they have like this sort of catty relationship. And then he's like, oh, you're jealous. She's like, I don't have a jealous bone in my body. Check it out. And then he just turns around. And she's fucking posed naked.
You're jealous. You're jealous.
I don't have a jealous bone in my body.
Is that a fact?
And then like the scene goes on for so long that she starts laughing because like it just holds. I think that laugh was real because it was just like, why is this scene still happening? Because she's like kind of holding a stupid pose with her leg in the air. But speaking of, I'm trying to segue to a song.
Speaking of hot tits.
Yeah. Yeah, play me something.
You want me to play some? All right, I got a new one out here from Panthera. Actually, kind of rather fitting with that character from the movie. It's called Demon. This is a really high energy, awesome new Italo disco track. It's definitely strong disco vibes through it.
And that was Panthera with the track Demon. That was a cool song, and we're back. We're talking about Picasso Trigger.
I love how at the end it turns out that Panthera is a double agent or whatever. She's working for the bad guys, and then the other girl's like, she knew all along, you know, and then she tells him, he's like, I knew it. It's like, oh, fuck, but I fucked her anyway. Yeah. It's like, I just compromised the whole mission, and he almost died at the end, you know, she almost killed him.
Yeah, in really an obvious, stupid way as well. The whole structure of this film was terrible, because, like, it just keeps on introducing characters. You don't really understand how they're connected, but you recognize just, you know, some of the good guys from the first movie. So at the 28-minute mark, I was looking at the clock, they reintroduced Jade, who's the karate guy with the long hair from the first one, who I guess is working undercover at like a dolphin park, like one of those like Marineland type things.
That's so ridiculous.
Which again, I think is just, they were just filming at all the tourist locations they could.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then Donna's on the phone like, they blew up our boat. I think they're trying to kill us.
I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is the samples you sent for, they're safe. Bad news is the boat we were on has been blown up. I think somebody's trying to kill us.
So Travis goes to visit Panthera, because I guess at this point they still think she's like good. And then she just answers the door in sexy lingerie, because I guess they banged in college or something.
How long's it been?
You were captain of the football team, and I was just another one of your conquests.
No. You were special.
So were you.
The thing about this movie was, like, the last movie made me laugh a lot more.
Yeah, for sure.
The one scene that made me laugh in this one wasn't even really an action scene. It was the scene here where she goes, I'm going to go get changed. So she comes out in a sexy outfit, but then gets changed into normal clothes. And then he's sitting there with her cat.
That's right.
And he's petting her cat, and she's like, you know, I trust my cat. If they like you, then I like you.
Oh, God.
And then he's like, yeah, cats are crazy about me. It's just the weirdest scene.
I see you've met Samson.
Yeah.
I trust him. And if he likes you, I like you.
Cat's crazy about me.
Seems that way.
What a weird scene of dialogue. It's just fucking... Cats are crazy about me.
The camera work is terrible too. The action scenes, like there's that scene towards the end where the karate guy, sorry, I can't remember his damn name, but
Jade.
His
name is Jade.
Jade. He's fighting those two guys, and it's so zoomed in, I can't even see what he's doing. Like it's ridiculous, and it's really bad choreography and all that. And then he just rips out his eyes or something. Yeah. I don't know where his eyes actually go. Where do his eyes go? They're just like missing or something.
I don't know. I think he poked them out because you don't see it.
No.
Like you just sort of see him go, and then the guy's got like blood on his face.
Yeah.
So then him and Panthera, they go to like a country western bar thing and do some dancing, and then like these really obvious like people are following them. Like there's these two dudes that you see them in the distance, like just point at them. Like whenever they're following Panthera, they're following her in the van, and like the actors inside the van are like pointing, like they're doing these very cartoonish gestures. And then they go for coffee with their boss. I think the guy's called LG. And at this point in the plot, it's sort of, I mean, it was really obvious to me the whole time, but I'm like, okay, well, Salazar is still alive. Like Picasso Trigger, he gets assassinated at the start of the movie, but I'm like, well, of course he's still alive, right? But they're trying to make it seem like it's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Then they go to this restaurant, and then those two henchmen guys come to kill them, and then they just kind of go outside of the restaurant, and there's just a boat there. Travis and their boss just get in the boat, and then there's just this really shitty boat chase where, wait a second.
So bad. What?
If she was a double agent, who were those guys? Why were they trying to kill her?
It doesn't make any sense. They must have not known she was a double agent, I'm guessing.
What?
It was such a secret, even they didn't know.
I just realized that now. Makes no sense. They were following her.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't at all.
Oh, no. Now this whole thing's just fucking falling apart. Look, we gotta take a break. We'll be right back.
That's excellent news. Don't try to fuck me. Do you live in London? There's a show going on June 17th. Future Sounds. Miami 89. Featuring the musical talents of Future Cop, Morgan Willis, Iverson, and New Arcades, and DJ sets by Patrick Fakeman, Enzo Van Balen, and Space Jams. Now listen, because I'm only going to say this one time. You can get tickets at future-sounds.uk/tickets. June 17th. Don't try to fuck me. Tony!
Hello, this is God. Beyond Synth is made possible by listeners like you. Today I would like to personally acknowledge Tim Carlton, Jacob Wick, Hugh Hefner, Emil, Mr. Magoo Samurai, and Alex Sellorekt. Thank you.
All right, and we're back. The Marko and Andy Power Hour. I'm so frustrated because I took these notes and I want to go through them, but this movie, I can't stress this enough to the audience, this movie does not deserve the notes that I've written. Like, we could easily sum this up with just like, this movie sucks.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's been so long since we talked that I wanted to make sure I really did watch the film and absorb it, but it was not worth my time.
Yeah.
And then 45 minutes into the movie, all of a sudden, there's just this giant title card that just says Friday in big bold letters. So up until this point, there have been no title cards in this film. And then, like, they just start this thing, like, fucking towards the end of the movie where it's like, there's title cards now. And then every good character is in the same room, which is the first time they've ever been in the same room together.
Yeah.
So 45 minutes in is when they discuss the actual plot of the film. It takes, like, that long, where they're just like, here's the bad guys, here's what they're doing. So then they finally, like, sort of explain what's going on with all the bad guys in this movie, because there's, like, 50 of them. And then they each get missions of the good guys. Like, okay, you're going to take out Ortiz. You're going to take out, you know, this one guy we haven't even seen yet. You're going to take out Miguel. And then they just take out all the bad guys. So it's like the first movie, remember at the end?
Yeah.
When they were just like, well, we better go kill the main villain now, and they just drive to his fucking office and kill him with like no fanfare or anything. This movie's like the exact same thing, where like they've been setting up all of these different bad guys, and then in just a series of montages, they all get killed. And then fucking Donna, did you catch that Donna has a watch lighter?
Yeah, of course I did. And that's how he finds out the clue that it's not really, that Salazar really isn't dead.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
So this is the scene where they're presented with the remote control car with the dynamite and the harpoon with dynamite and the fucking the crutches with the well, he doesn't say what the crutches do at first, but then you just find out it's just a gun. Basically, it's just you can load shotgun shells into it. And then there's just a pointless scene where we just cut to Edie working out at the gym, and then Jade just walks up and takes her top off while she's working out, so we just see her tits for a second and then she leaves. And that's the end of the scene. And then it cuts to Saturday. That's when it starts this whole whole series of events of just the bad guys just getting all killed. So Jade and Edie, they put yellow hard hats on and pretend to be the phone company.
Oh, that's so bad. The acting is so bad.
And then the whole plan is to go there, pretend they're the phone company, and plant an Uzi behind a plant.
It's so bad.
So that they can use the Uzi tomorrow when they come back.
Is that what it was? I was trying to figure out what they were doing.
That's the plan.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're like leaving a gun behind, but then like they give them a whole day to like go, like, and they were so suspicious because they clearly weren't from the phone company. Like it's like so stupid.
Yeah, it was just terrible. But with the assassin, like the montage of the assassinations and that, it feels like the first part of the movie is the good guys getting assassinated or attempted to, and then the second part is all the bad guys getting assassinated.
And a bunch of really shitty action scenes and some explosions.
Yeah.
A lot of people blew up in that second part. Like there was some funny little moments here and there, but we got to listen to a song before we talk about them. So
what do you got?
I got a track from Electric Dragon from the album Communion. This is Fire. All right, and that was Fire by Electric Dragon. And we're back, Marko and I, talking about Picasso Trigger. And so we got to the part where we're killing all the bad guys. And this part, so there was this shootout that actually was kind of funny or whatever, like where it cuts back to the country western girls, Patty Cakes and the other one. And then they did the line from the first movie where I think it was Patty Cakes. She's like, well, I'm going to hit the jacuzzi. And then like for no reason, and then just cuts to those two chicks naked because we hadn't seen them naked yet. And so it was important that get established before we move on. Then we meet the character of Mr. Patterson, who's the bad guy that I guess gets women for snuff films or something. I wasn't quite sure how all these bad guys connected with each other, but then they just have a shootout in that shitty set where there's like they were doing the country western dancing. Once they finally decide to kill everybody, their plans are just so straightforward where it's just the girls are just dancing on stage and then just like, okay, you turkeys, freeze, and then just pull out a gun in front of them. No. And then they just start like shooting at each other from like 4 feet away from each other. Like this stupid gunfight.
So bad.
Okay, you turkeys, freeze!
Yeah, then we get to the scene that you were talking about where he's like fighting those dudes and then just like pokes the fucking henchman's eyes out. And then after he like throws Toshi, I guess, was a character we haven't seen until this moment, but he's one of the bad guys. He gets like thrown out the window and then the bad guy with no eyes just runs in the room with an Uzi and he's just like kind of shooting all over the place, but he can't see. And I think that's when Edie gets the Uzi that they planted and comes in and then shoots that guy, which I guess is like the fucking resolution of that plan. And then Hondo and Sub-Zero then have a dirt bike chase with Donna and Terran. That's when Terran takes out the fucking the bomb boomerang.
That's right.
Which was actually pretty funny because like the dummy that flies in the air when that guy blows up was pretty awesome because it just sort of like kind of fell apart in the air. Towards the end, everybody blows up. So, like, all the killing scenes are all fucking dynamite related. And it always just cuts to this wide shot of, like, a Jeep exploding or a guy exploding.
Right, yeah.
And there's always, like, this kind of bad dummy you can see for, like, a frame before it happens. Like, the only time that the last time I laughed was Terran goes to the house and is, like, having a shootout with the guys that she's gonna go take out Ortiz. Then Donna, I guess, like, snorkeled there for some reason. So, like, Terran goes there on her bike, and then Ortiz just drives, like, kind of like through the wall on his bike to escape. And then that scene was awesome because he drives out and he's like, yeah! And then like flies through like the fucking curtain or whatever. And that made me laugh. And then she just blows him up. So like every single bad guy gets wrapped up so simply where it's just like, and then he's blown up and this guy's thrown out the window and these guys are shot and this guy gets blown up with a fucking dynamite boomerang. And then at this moment, I look and there's fucking 20 minutes left of the movie. I'm like, oh, fuck me. So this is the part where we reveal, I'm like, okay, well, Salazar's still alive. I actually thought their boss would be in on it.
That's what I thought. But no, they just set up the good guys to take out the rival faction or the rival gang or whatever. So that was a kind of a cool twist, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the only clever thing in the movie, really.
Then Travis and Panthera just sort of go to this house and he's pretending to walk on crutches because he's got the fucking the crutch weapon or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he just walks in and then just sits down and then Salazar is just there. So like fucking Picasso Trigger, he's just there and then explains the whole plan. And then while he's talking, Travis is really obviously loading shotgun shells into the crutch, but he's not even doing it secretly. It's such a weird scene, like, because Salazar is just letting him do it. What is happening right now? Like, he's so obviously loading a weapon. These things aren't crutches, clearly. But then Salazar presses a button and like this glass comes down from the ceiling that like absorbs the shot.
Yeah.
And then his security cameras have little rockets on them.
So weird.
So like that scene was awesome. And then we find out that Panthera's bad, and then she goes to stab Travis, and then all of a sudden that also made me laugh too when she gets the harpoon through her.
Yeah.
Because like she's about to stab him, and then there's just this shot of like the harpoon like going through her, and then like Donna takes her out. And then there's one scene where I don't know if this was an actual stunt or what, but you know, they go, oh shit, we got to go get Salazar because he was getting away. And then Travis and Donna are like running down a grassy hill, and then Travis, it looks like he just fell.
Dude.
And like did a roll, but then tried to play it off like it was a stunt.
I looked that up. That was he did fall. It was an accident, and the director decided to leave it in there because it looked so authentic.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude, he just fucking tripped. Like
he really did. Yeah.
Anyway, so then Salazar has another decoy on a hovercraft, and then the real Salazar escapes again. But Travis used his crutches gun thing, and he scanned Salazar's pacemaker in the earlier scene. So then at the end of the movie, they're not even near Salazar, and then they just go, oh, I guess Salazar is still alive. So then Travis just fires a homing rocket from his crutches gun, and the rocket just flies into Salazar, who is in a completely different place, and then he just blows up and he's dead. And that's like how it gets resolved.
That scene is so weird though. Like Salazar's pretending to be dead. Wouldn't you be a little secretive? Next thing he's just walking around outside, just down the road. It's not that far away. Like, don't you think somebody might spot you? Like, it's just so strange to me. Like, that's great, you tricked him, but at least be in hiding for a while. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like he's got like several body doubles, but then just walks around. And then he just stands there as this rocket that looks sort of like a flare, just sort of like flies through the air and just flies into him.
Yeah, he's tracking his pacemaker or some fucking shit. I don't know if that's even possible, but yeah. That's what it is. That's how he knows he's still alive, because he checks his crutch, which tells him he's got the tracker, and then it tells him that he's still alive because he's got a heartbeat or something. I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay, yeah, because this is the point where I'm just like, this was the point.
Not earlier?
It sucks because I wanted to see more of these, but I feel like if this is like a harbinger of what's to come.
I'm done. Let's move on.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Classic.
I think I did read that the third one is supposed to be better than this one.
Yeah, you're not going to entice me, mate. Okay. Nice try. Is it the same tits? I mean, is it the same chicks?
It is the same tits, probably.
Oh, wow, maybe I'll fast forward through it or something. I mean,
yeah, definitely. Though I was hoping for it to be better. I mean, worse than better. It was a piece of shit. So I guess if we're gonna give it a rating, I'm gonna give it. Well, how about this? Play me a song, and then I'll give my rating when the song's over.
All right. Well, I got a nice dark synth track here from no stranger to the show, Karl Casey. He's got a new one out. He's a very prolific producer, and his new album is called White Bat 24. Yes, he doesn't mess around.
That puts out a lot of music.
I know. And the new one that he's got that I really like is called Infamous.
All right, and that was Infamous by Karl Casey. And we're back. We just finished talking about Picasso Trigger, and I give it a thumbs down. How about you?
Yeah, I give it a big thumbs down. Double thumbs down, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't too much redeeming qualities. I would say some of the people blowing up was kind of funny. Ortiz driving out on his motorbike yelling, yeah, like that was funny. That line about the cat was funny, but that was it. Like nothing compares to that fucking Jeep scene in Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
That was a bit of a struggle to get through. It was. I really had to push myself. But yeah, and it was embarrassing to watch.
Well, no doubt, because I told you to watch the movie, and then even I staggeredly watched it over the course of like a week. We like delayed because we were going to record like a few days ago, and I just couldn't finish watching it. But the problem was I kept on meaning to watch it during the daytime when my kids were at school, and I never got around to it because I was doing other things. And once they get home, I'm like, well, I can't watch this movie now because they're home, and like, of course they're going to walk in, like, because that did actually happen. My son walks in, and it was right at the scene where Donna was about to get in the jacuzzi for the first time or whatever. So I had this paused picture on my screen of like her in her bra. It was before she actually got nude. And then my son, like, he comes in to tell me something about Zelda, and he's just like, oh yeah, I just found this, and he looks at my screen. What movie's this? And I'm like, nothing, just some stupid film. He's like, oh. And then he's like distracted now.
Looks good, Dad.
Yeah. Like, anyway.
Classic.
So, it's a piece of shit. I just felt bad because I took all these notes, and I'm like, well, I want to discuss these notes, but totally not worth it. I should have used hold on.
ChatGPT?
I'm going to try something.
Okay.
I'm going to take my notes, and I'm going to put them into ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, condense this down to 2 sentences, and I'm going to see what it says, all right?
Cool. All right.
Can you condense this into 2 sentences? Here we go. In the film, a complex plot unfolds involving numerous characters, secret agents, assassins, and a mysterious entity known as Picasso Trigger. The narrative is filled with overcomplicated assassination attempts, undercover operations, unexpected plot twists, and a series of humorous and absurd scenes culminating in the revelation that Picasso Trigger is not only a painting, but also a person, and the final showdown involves a homing rocket targeting Picasso Trigger's pacemaker. That's not bad.
Nice, not bad. I think it's fun. Those things are amazing, man, what they can do, really.
Oh, I love ChatGPT. I don't care. I know, like, there's people who are, like, afraid of the AI, and with good reason, but ChatGPT is incredibly useful. Like, you still need to make sure what it's saying is correct, but, like, for condensing articles, like, if you all of a sudden you see, like, an article and it's, like, several pages, just to fucking get the gist of it, and then you can go back, and then you can ask it questions. Like, you know, sometimes there's just so many, like, video game articles that are bullshit.
Right.
Like, you know, the ones where it's just, like, everything we know about the upcoming fucking Street Fighter. And then instead of reading the whole article, I just fucking throw it in ChatGPT. Did they say any information about the game? No. Okay. You know, because half the time it's like, you know, when video game articles, it's
always clickbait.
Yeah, it's always clickbait, and then when you get there, it's like there's no new information.
Yeah.
So it's just great, and I also use it to like condense videos as well. Like if I go on YouTube and it's like a shorter video, you can just grab the transcript and then just go, tell me what the gist of this video is, and then I can even ask it afterwards. Like, you know, if it says, oh, this video discusses why it's great to wear a hat outside or whatever. I'm just like, oh, well, like what time code do they give hat tips? It's like, oh, that's a 2-minute. Okay, and then I'll watch it and make sure that is actually what happens, because sometimes ChatGPT can make shit up.
Yeah.
The new one's better. Like, I use version 4.
They keep getting, each version gets better and better?
Yeah. Like, there's less. In the past few uses I've had, like, there's been it's not lied to me.
It's not lied to me.
Yeah. Look, I want to listen to another song, and then maybe we can fucking wrap up.
Okay, sounds good.
Going along with my fire theme, I got a track from Sellorekt, LA Dreams. This is Allie's Fire. And that was Allie's Fire from Sellorekt LA Dreams. And we're back on the Marko and Andy Power Hour. We're catching up. My internet got fixed, and it's been nice to chat with you.
You too.
Unfortunately, we watched a stupid movie, so this episode's going to be really dumb. But, it's nice to chat again.
Yeah, it is. It feels like it's been a while, so yeah. The next time we'll pick a better movie, eh?
Yeah, maybe I should have a rule now where, like, if the movie sucks, just not even bother reviewing it, because
yeah, maybe.
Honestly, this is just my ego because I did all these notes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So like I wanted to read them, but then like when it's all said and done, I'm like, that wasn't worth it at all. Like I think if the movie's not fucking fun, then we're just not gonna do it. We're just not gonna say anything. That's the lesson we learned today.
Yeah, I used to have a thing where I watch a lot of old horror movies, and I would just, even if they're really bad, I would just sit through it, and then it got to the point where some of them are so fucking bad that no, I will turn it off because I feel like I'm losing brain cells sometimes.
Well, also too, I mean, like we're not getting any younger.
That's true. I'd rather spend my time watching something a little bit better. I mean, I do like good bad movies, if you know what I mean, but they've got to be good. Like Miami Connection, for example. That's the perfect example, right?
Yes.
That's worth watching. I mean,
yeah, if it's fun, like there's actually like a lot of entertainment value. This thing was just sort of fucking people walking into rooms and getting into cars and getting out of cars and walking into other rooms and picking up phones and phoning people. It was a lot of that. Maybe I should just I'll go through the film and do like a little montage of just all the phone hanging ups and pickups and just all that boring shit.
Yeah.
Because that would be a great video. What the fuck am I talking about? But look, listen, you have a lovely week. Hopefully the air gets a little better and we'll be less congested and our throats will be better. Because you're sort of out in the countryside, right?
Right.
So is it a little better there? Like, is it as bad as those New York pictures I see, or do you?
Yeah, it's as bad, if not worse.
Really?
Yeah, it's because we're on the way to New York. I mean, New York's like 3 or 4 hours south of here, so it's really bad here.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
I mean, I'm not a great photographer, so I can't take those shots, that make it. I swear they put filters on it too, but it's bad. Yeah.
Well, you're meant to stay inside.
I know, it's the same fucking COVID shit, quarantine, and anyway, no, I try to stay inside, but you got to go to work and shit like that.
That is true.
Yeah, but it's better now. Look, it is better.
But the chocolate factory must be ventilated and shit.
It is.
Okay, well,
it is. Yeah.
So maybe you get some respite from the smoky air when you're at the chocolate factory, and then you get to smell all that chocolate.
It's pretty good, mate. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got a lot of respite.
Yeah. It still to this day bugs me that word is pronounced respite.
I always pronounce it respite. Now it sounds weird now that you keep saying it like that. Now it feels weird saying it respite.
Well, because I
guess it is respite.
Because I always said respite too, because this is the thing I used to say. I said this a million times on the show before, but like it was one of my favorite things in Metal Gear Solid. You're fighting Gray Fox, the fucking ninja, cyborg ninja, and he had this cool line of dialogue, and he's like, "Now I can find respite," or whatever, and I thought that was cool. And then when they did the remake, they re-recorded the dialogue, and then he pronounced it respite instead. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, it sounded so much cooler when he said respite.
Well, I think it's in British. England and places like that, it is respite.
Is it?
But I think American, yes. I just looked it up. Respite is more of an American thing.
Interesting. Okay, because I want to say respite. I think respite sounds cooler.
That's how it's spelt and everything.
Yeah.
You know which line always stuck with me? I don't know if I told you this before, from Metal Gear Solid, was at the beginning, the scene with the elevators coming down, and it says Vulcan Raven, Giant, and Shaman. Yeah. I don't know why that always... It's just such a weird way to... Anyway, sorry.
That game was awesome.
It was so good. I get so nostalgic for that era of gaming, particularly that game. Obviously, a few others, but that one's one of the major ones. It was just so incredible at the time,
Yeah. I still think, though, there's a special thing. I'm going to do a video about this. I know we got to go, but like... Because I'm playing the new Zelda now.
Right.
And it is really good. Like, it's a really good game. And it's huge. It's fucking huge. Like, there's so much to do. Like, it's a lot bigger and a lot more complex than I had any idea it would be. But at the same time, when I think about it, Ocarina of Time is still like my favorite Zelda of all time. And I've been really sort of trying to collect my thoughts about why that is. Because I know a lot of people just go like, oh, your favorite Zelda game is the first one you ever played. Like, it's all nostalgia. Like, that's the only reason. You know, when people try to diminish things you like by saying, oh, you only like them because you watched it as a kid.
Right.
And I'm like, no, like, I I truly believe that Ocarina of Time is like the greatest one, and maybe I'll save that for another day. But I've got my reasons.
Okay.
I've been really thinking about it.
Well, we should delve into that. Think about it some more, and maybe we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, because it's like. I love how that's a topic I'm actually way more interested in than talking about fucking Picasso Trigger.
I know, me too, actually.
But look, you have a lovely day. Have fun at work.
Thanks.
You know, because there's been this huge gap with the show and the episodes have been delayed and stuff. Maybe we'll record another Power Hour soon.
Okay.
After this one drops, just to sort of give the audience a few more episodes.
Sure, sounds good.
And then maybe we'll chat about that shit then. But
talk a bit more about video games or something.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
But listen, you take care of yourself, and it's nice catching up with you.
Yeah, thanks as always. Yeah, pleasure having. Jesus Christ.
Now it's happening to you.
Stop it. No.
Beyond Synth Radio is produced by Andy Last. Check the show notes for more information on the musicians featured on the show. Beyond Synth is made possible by listeners like you. Consider supporting Beyond Synth at patreon.com/BeyondSynth. Thanks for listening.